All right, welcome to Smokey Approved Korea. I'm your boy journalist, and on this one, we are here to check out another one from Boris City. This is going to be why most Army don't like K-pop. I figured this would be good after my experience with checking out some other K-pop songs. I was underwhelmed in checking out that Blackpink song. I was like, this is it. That's it's not cutting the mustard. But then I just listened to that New Jeans song. And I was like, but that cuts the mustard. So I just need to have a better understanding, or I might fall directly in line with what she has to say today. So shout out to Board City for this video. Thank you guys for supporting the channel and joining me. If you could please hit that like, subscribe. Patreon's in the description if you'd like to support the channel directly or would like to have early or exclusive access to anything I'm working on. That said, let's get into this one and see what we got.
In 2017, BTS started being invited to major American award shows. They were getting nominations for the first time.
First K-pop group to be up for a BBMA nomination.
They were winning every nomination they received.
We still cannot believe that we're standing here on this stage at the Billboard Music Awards.
And even their American TV debut was on a major American award show.
Making their US TV debut, make some noise for BTS!
This came as a surprise to the K-pop music industry and K-pop fans, since things like this haven't really happened since the global success of Gangnam Style in 2012. So you would assume that the K-pop industry and K-pop fans were happy to see a K-pop act getting some recognition once again. But what actually happened was the complete opposite. While Psy had immense popularity in the West in 2012, his musical career was not really seeing much growth in the Western music industry. In America, Gangnam Style was what many call a one-hit wonder. This was not the case with BTS. They were actually getting bigger and bigger with every release. This is why it's really hard to find BTS's Gangnam Style. They don't really have one song that put them on the map because with every new release, they were getting bigger and bigger. But for many K-pop fans, that was exactly the problem. BTS were becoming mainstream. K-pop wasn't. So the BTS army started being mainly composed of general public and non-K-pop fans. And a year later, in 2018, K-pop fans were done with this. The Korea Herald reported, some K-pop listeners and fans expressed discomfort for the fast-growing BTS fan community. They have claimed that some of the band's army only listen to BTS and show little interest for K-pop in general, leading to a flurry of posts with hashtag Armies Ruin K-pop Party. Among many tweets that expressed discomfort for BTS's growing fandom, this one became very popular. It said, the Organization of the United K-Poppers declares the army expelled as of today. Thanks to ARMY for understanding the situation and accepting its level degradation in a good way. Even though they are now at a lower level, the K-pop community wishes them luck and hopefully they will regain their humility and conscience. So after being expelled by the K-pop community,
What the expel? Who's this governing body? Who do they think they are? And then when did we sign up? This just, yo. Oh, come on. Y'all say I talk above my head. What the hell was that?
armies started celebrating the Army Independence Day as a funny way to respond to all the jealousy from K-pop fans and their attempt to stop BTS from becoming mainstream in the West. Now, many K-pop fans are trying to backtrack and say that this was a random account and not a real organization, and that whether we like it or not, armies are also K-pop fans, since BTS is a K-pop group. And first of all, of course this is not a real organization. It's Twitter. Nothing is real, especially when it comes to K-pop stans. But these and many other tweets show K-pop fans' goal to exclude BTS. The expulsion may not be real, but the attempt of humiliation and exclusion was. The problem that many K-pop fans didn't realize was that BTS can perfectly sustain itself as a musical act in the music industry, and this is something that only they can do. I can't think of any other K-pop act that can sustain itself as a group without the power of the K-pop industry. This makes much more sense knowing that BTS
I appreciate that even the singers hold the microphone like a battle rap MC and just choke the head of the microphone like, yeah. Like, this is just terrible mic technique. But I appreciate that even the singers still hold their microphone like they're battle rappers.
BTS grew without the help of the K-pop industry. They grew bigger and bigger by experimenting with their own promotion methods, despite the K-pop industry's efforts to cut them from broadcasts, fabricating controversies, sabotaging every award they won, and downplaying their achievements, even until this day.
정도 보도가 돼요. 그러면 우리가 흔히 알고
Yo, my guy right here getting hella runtime.
있는 소위 대형 기획사의 아이돌이 그것보다 사실은 못 미치는 어떤 활약을 보였을 때 미디어에 보도되는 양이나 그 커버되는 범위를 보시면 확연히 차이가 납니다. 이번 그래미 같은 경우 어떻게 들어가냐면 주요 부문에서 등극에 실패했다라고 한다든지.
장르도 그래미 후보에 올랐다고 하지.
And it's true that K-pop as a whole has grown a lot since 2017, but that was the consequence of BTS's popularity. The K-pop wave doesn't really exist. Just look at any articles that explain the global phenomenon that is K-pop and laugh a little. They usually show achievements like this. This one shows the Korean acts to earn at least 2 billion streams in Spotify. And the way it's put makes you believe that these are the biggest acts in K-pop, when in reality, when you combine the 4 biggest acts, it's still not enough to surpass BTS. But what
See, this is the sass from Boris City that you have to pay attention to. She's like, yeah, that's cute, no, the little graph on the left. And then she's like, but look at this, though. They don't even equal up. It's a battle rapper. I think it's T-Rex. And he's got like a slogan where he's like, it doesn't matter how many of those fabricated bars that you're going to say tonight, it's not going to equal up to this real shit. And I always like, there's so many battles he won just from saying that. It's so many. Oh, man. I wonder what that man's doing with his life. Oh, man. Battle rap is amazing. If you haven't watched any battle rap, check it out. It is a great sport.
What if you combine the 8 biggest acts? It's still not enough to surpass BTS. But what if you combine the 10 biggest acts? Then BTS increases even more because their solo careers are also bigger than K-pop. Actually,
that's not fair. That's not. She's like, oh, it's cool. They caught up. But my boy's out here doing solo work too. And if you add those numbers, we're still bigger than everybody. Oh man, that's not fair though.
In general terms, if you combine the whole K-pop industry's achievements, BTS is still bigger. They are still bigger when it comes to streams, sales, charts, and tours. Another thing that the media says
Look
a
at
lot
the
is that
flex.
yes, BTS is the biggest act, but this other group is number 2 and they are also doing pretty well. But in reality, they are extremely far from number 1. K-pop success in the West is not K-pop success, it's BTS's success. It's like this meme that says Kobe Bryant and Kwame Brown combined for 63 points. Kobe scored 62, Kwame scored 1. And I think this makes things clearer.
Who the hell is Boris City? And her meme pulls, for examples, fucking hilarious. How do you even know about this fucking meme? That's a deep cut in the American, like, NBA Twitter sphere. Normal folks don't normally see that tweet. What the hell? Hey, why we doing my boy Kwame Brown like that, man? His mama's good ass cooking. Leave that man alone.
Player started scoring so many points that fans of the team got annoyed and jealous that everyone was paying attention to the player and not to the team. So they kicked the player out of the team without realizing that that affects the team more than it affects the player. This is why they backtracked and started promoting the player's achievements as the team's achievements, when the other player's contributions are almost non-existent. Now, the main question is,
See, that whatever that was, that sounded fun. Didn't need to have a message. Sounds like some stuff I could just rock with. Like, oh, this sounds good. Like, I'd clean my house to that. Take me a nice shower. That sounds like. Who was that?
why? Why is the Western general public paying attention to only BTS and not K-pop as a whole? This K-pop journalist has the same question as to why no one pays attention to her K-pop articles. She tweeted, "My issue with K-pop today is that less and less people care about it as a whole, and instead only care about 1 or 2 groups, which makes writing about the industry increasingly difficult. Everyone lives in their own bubble and doesn't even want to know more. There seems to be a huge misunderstanding too. So many people think that being a fan means you need to consume all the content and know all the members' biography and have every single album, when you don't. You can just listen to a song and enjoy it. You don't even need to call yourself a fan, but just trying to listen to new stuff sometimes. Having curiosity about it is cool, it's refreshing. You might find your new favorite band, who knows?" And I think most people will
that sentiment she has about it being hard to write in the industry is the same sentiment that a lot of, we'll say, music promoters, DJs that actually do the DJ thing. Like, they all feel like the job should be easier and that there should be more people. And I'm just like, but that is your job, buddy. The fact that it is hard is because you're not, in my estimation, working hard enough to showcase talent that is worth discovery. Just like a promoter opening a club spot and then charging the talent for stage time and requiring them also to sell tickets. You're a lazy promoter, in my estimation, because this place should be filled without me selling anything. My additional 15 tickets or however many I'm given to sell, that's just on top. If I sell no tickets, this room should still be filled. This is why I call most, we'll say, show promoters that operate in a pay-for-play system lazy and terrible promoters. Same with DJs talking about, oh, it's so hard to showcase or find new music. You're actually not trying to find new music, my friend. You're not showcasing anything new. You're not providing any refreshing talent. You're not even doing the work. You want somebody to be massively huge and have a bunch of numbers and eyeballs attached to them instead of doing the work of a DJ. Go find the deep cuts. You were supposed to be curating good music to me. That is your job. But then you complain because it's hard. And I'm just like, but that's the job, is to dig through all this crappy music until you find some good music, and then you showcase it. And you keep doing that over and over. And then we believe that you have good selection abilities and will continue to come to you. So again, the reporter and all these people, they all have like a similar sentiment to me when I hear that they say that it's hard. And I'm like, but that's your job. The fact that it's hard is because you don't do a good enough job, is how I would hear that. Or that's how I heard that. Because if you're doing a better job, it's easier to report on the industry.
Totally agree with this, except that K-pop doesn't really work like that, because K-pop is not a genre, it's an industry, and it's an industry that has so many common factors that attract many people that will eventually become K-pop fans, but none of these factors include music. When a hip-hop journalist, for example, writes about hip-hop artists, the articles are usually targeted at hip-hop fans, and these hip-hop fans care about hip-hop as a whole because it's one particular genre they enjoy. They may also have their own favorite K-pop artist, but since they like the genre, they also listen to other artists that have a similar sound. And this can happen with other genres of music as well. But K-pop fails to transform the general public into K-pop fans because K-pop's priority is not music.
I think this is going to be the hardest concept for me to wrap my head around, is it's not about the music. I'm like, how, cuss? That's the whole reason I'm here. If man didn't have good song, I'm not continually looking into BTS or anybody else. I don't care. You must have good song for me to be intrigued further. Otherwise, I go watch TV. Like, I go watch Chunks and Beta Squad or something. Like, there's a bunch of other stuff I could watch. So you have to have good music for me to learn more. So the fact that there's an entire industry that is within music that is just like, it's not about the music though, blood. I'm just like, what? It hurts my heart.
In K-pop, singers, rappers, or performers are not called artists or recording artists. They are called idols. And they were or performers are not called artists or recording artists. They are.
Am I tripping? It's in the front right with the little yellow Pendleton and the tan skirt. Is Shorty a white girl? Are there white women idols in K-pop that are a part of predominantly Korean, or I don't know the mix-up of any of these groups? So like there could be like a girl from like Indonesia or something mixed up in there is in a K-pop group. That's the thing, right? Like how many multinational K-pop groups that are based in Korea are popping right now? Is that even a thing?
They're called idols, and they were literally seen as that. Before BTS, writing and producing your own songs
See that bucket hat my boy got on? Cheese!
was not a thing in K-pop. It was all about visuals, how the idol looks, how the music video looks, what kind of reputation the idol has. The further from a regular person with regular lives who actually put on hours of work on their music, the better. This is why
Who's dyeing his hair in Korea, cuz? These reds just be redding. Like, Jesus. This man, you see my niggas red hair?
with regular lives who actually
Hold
put
on.
on hours
Look at that red, though. Jeez.
of work on their music, the better. This is why K-pop acts are not known for having a musical personality. They are either stuck at one song or jumping from one concept to another, with no real message in any of their eras. Musical and artistic growth are very hard to find in K-pop. And this is not about being a versatile artist or not. There are artists who release many genres of music, BTS being the most popular example these days. But to successfully show this versatility, the artist still needs some factors that make them them. And this can be as simple as the artist's musical taste. However, that's another thing they lack, because their songs are
Hey, if I dye my hair, I'm going to whoever's doing this shit in Korea. Look this red. This is a nice mixture right here. Shorty hair dyed up.
as the artist's musical taste. However, that's another thing they lack,
Great color.
because their songs are not only written and produced by other people, but also they don't even choose the songs that will be part of their discography. The labels are the ones who give the performers an artistic identity that they have to adapt to. If I show you the most popular K-pop songs from this year or from any other year, you wouldn't really be able to tell which group they are from, because K-pop groups don't really have any artistic identity. On the other hand, BTS's label told them, you find your own identity. This is why BTS's discography always reflected their lives and their thoughts. And even when the BTS members don't write or produce a song, they are the ones deciding what they like and what fits them, not the other way around. I think one reason as to why BTS attracts the general public while K-pop doesn't is the fact that to become a BTS fan, you only need to listen to the music. Other factors like performance, visuals, and message only solidifies BTS's artistry. But still, if one day BTS suddenly becomes ugly or decides to not dance anymore, their music is still strong enough to be performed and listened to for many years to come. So to be a BTS fan, you just need to like the music. But to be a K-pop fan, you need to be a fan of an industry. And what does this industry include? It includes pretty people, a choreographed dance, a concept that they will throw away after a month or two, 3 mini albums a year, flashy music videos, and trendy outfits. And all of these things are really cool things to pay attention to. I love paying attention to visuals and outfits, but if I don't like the music, watching their performance
I'm about to say, I'm built for the K-pop industry at that point. You know how many times I stop and talk about people's clothes, men's shoes, like belts. Boy can have an earring I don't like. I pay attention to all of these things. But I guess she's right, though. I do need the music. The music's got to be doing some music, or it's just not going to work for me. Because then I'm just going to start roasting clothes and just looking at everything else. And then it's going to be like, oh, shit music. And my man don't even know how to dress. You see this? Like, oh, man. I love flaming a crappy outfit. Like, yo, how did this person even get in the wardrobe, cuz?
once is all I'm going to do. And actually, I would say K-pop fans agree with me, because K-pop music videos and live performances with pre-recorded vocals can end up having millions and billions of views. But once you
Jesus, that's a lot of views.
focus on the music, not even K-pop
We need to check out some Stray Kids, though. I'm not even going to try and say that one. AESPA, whoever that is. We still need to check out EXO. Wasn't that Boom Baya I just heard from Blackpink? I don't know. I don't remember the name. Yeah, I don't know Stray Kids like that.
Pop fans want to listen to it. This doesn't happen with BTS. If they have a billion views in a music video, the number of streams of this same song matches the number of music video views. People don't only want to
How many of y'all are out there and listen to it on YouTube or whatever, and then be like, all right, make them numbers match up, because I'm going over to Spotify or whatever you stream their music on a digital streaming platform, and you're like, okay, I've listened to it over here, and you just cycle back and forth just to make sure the numbers match.
to see them dance or perform. They actually want to listen to their music. This same K-pop journalist said, I feel like the concept of enjoying music for the music is getting lost. And now people either are huge fans of one thing or they
Why I know there's more to the statement. I know. Why is Shorty out here talking like this? What is she getting lost?
don't care.
What the fucking world does this bird live in? We getting lost. The concept of enjoying music for music's sake has been lost since the music video. What does she even say? Like, I don't understand how people are allowed to speak in this manner, like in public, and like people are just like, yeah. Like, that's a very cogent argument you're making. I'm like, within your first sentence, you're saying just utter bullshit. Like, history would disprove this statement. Not even my own personal feelings. Like, what the? Oh, man, I don't get it. This lady's supposed to be a journalist. This is not good. This is not good. Just dirt on my moniker. This is no good.
For the music is getting lost, and now people either are huge fans of one thing or they don't care at all. They won't even bother to try listening. So how can we write if people aren't open to read about things they don't know? About this,
just like people that were not perceived to be the next big thing. We'll say, like, we'll use BTS for an example. People weren't listening. They weren't getting booked. What would they do? They kept putting out music. They kept participating until it turned into what it needed to turn into. So what you should do is you should keep writing your articles and providing quality content. And after a while, that tide will shift and people will begin to read your articles more often because you have a very good position and are able to seek out and present really good musical talent. It's not a hard job at all. And the fact that you act like it is only just showing the fake nature of how you have to write your articles, because you have to probably write fluff pieces because somebody's paying good money for the artist to get written about instead of you being able to write about the artists that deserve to be written about, which require you to go find and then highlight or showcase. So this is where I'm just who this lady Taja Aces, why is she talking like this? This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
two things come to mind. First, let's say that this person is right and certain fandoms like ARMY
No,
are
she's
huge
not.
fans of one
Fucking
thing,
wrong.
in this case BTS, and we don't really care at all about anyone else. If this was the case, then what is really the problem with that? And why are K-pop journalists complaining about this? Why do music
'Cause
journalists
the
don't care when this
industry is
happens
terrible.
in other genres? I don't know how I came up with this, but do you remember when Justin Bieber became popular and everyone was asking his fans to please check out every other Canadian pop artist? Well, of course you don't remember because it didn't happen. Justin Bieber's success was Justin Bieber's success, and no one expects Justin Bieber fans to also be interested in Drake or The Weeknd because they have nothing in common, except from their nationality. So what about artists who do release similar music? Still, you will never see a journalist that covers American pop asking Ariana Grande fans why they only pay attention to Ariana and not other pop singers. Being a fan of an artist is not a group project. Just because I like one artist doesn't mean that I have to like other artists that are associated with them.
It's funny to hear this argument being used in this fashion, because this is the same exact argument men have for not supporting the WNBA. It's like, yo, it's not my job, cuz. Like, I literally have the NBA. Like, why aren't the women supporting that? Like, it's not a collective win for us all. Like, it's very crazy to hear this argument that we use for why we don't watch the WNBA. Now, me, I don't watch all WNBA, but I do watch some of the games. But it's funny to see it used in this context of we don't ever hear this happen in like pop, rap, or any other genre. But in K-pop, they're like, but like check out my mans in them. They make really good music too.
The second thing I wanted to say about this is that it's not even true. This is only a what if scenario.
Shout out to Bora. She's not taking no bullshit.
Because most armies were previously fans of other genres of music, or music in general. Like I said, armies are mainly composed of the general public, and as BTS grew, K-pop grew too. This is because the assumption is that if BTS is part of this particular industry and they are amazing, then the whole industry, or at least many other acts from this industry, are as amazing, right? This is the moment when most armies start realizing that BTS is an anomaly in K-pop. ARMYs do give other groups a chance, but if they don't like the music, then there really isn't a reason to become a fan. It's more common for ARMYs to like individual K-pop songs without becoming a fan of the group, because like I said, K-pop usually goes through eras and concepts instead of growing as artists and solidifying a musical identity. This ARMY responded to the K-pop journalist. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Doja Cat. Found this really good band called Bad Omens. Fuji Cat's viral song is also really good. New Jeans, The Weeknd, yet you're going to complain people don't care about music because you're not getting clicks on your K-pop articles. ARMYs tend to be
Tell
music
that
fans
bird.
and they are going to support what they like. And that includes acts from any genre of their preference. Western acts, K-pop acts, and also other Korean non-K-pop acts like BTS.
That verse hard as shit. That boy RM was cooking on that man's song. I don't even remember a boy whose song it was. It was a good song overall, but that nigga RM was going off. I like that verse.
Another thing I've seen a lot is K-pop fans accusing ARMYs of hating Koreans because we are trying to exclude BTS from their Korean roots and identity. And that is an insane take because K-pop is not a culture. It's an industry that doesn't really represent Korean values or culture. This is why Korean citizens separate K-pop, or what they call idol music, with Korean music. They even separate Korean pop with K-pop. So while K-pop fans may group artists like BTS, IU, Lee Young-woon, Yuna, and Haze under the K-pop label simply because they are Korean, ARMYs and other music fans who understand the difference don't really consider BTS as K-pop because they don't really follow many of the K-pop rules or fit into the K-pop.
I'm just glad I named this little section Smokey Approved Korea, so we can just shove all that into one little box. And I don't really have to worry about the differences in the levels because there's a whole lot of overlap or delineation between things that I wouldn't have accounted for. I didn't even know that they was like, nah, that's idol music and we make this kind of music. But guess what? We actually have full word Korean pop, and that has nothing to do with K-pop. This is long. This is long.
Pop structure. Some of these artists, like BTS, may participate in some K-pop shows, but they are way too involved in their music composition and have way too many artistic liberties to be considered part of K-pop. BTS's actual competition in South Korea are other Korean non-K-pop acts, who are usually called digital monsters. So no, saying BTS is not K-pop is not being anti-Korean. I think this response to the K-pop journalist summarizes it perfectly. My issue with K-pop fans are how they treat music fandom as a group project and fetishize Koreans instead of treating them as individual artists. K-pop has very little in common musically between groups. There's no reason there should be fan crossover. What does K-pop actually sound like that you're a fan of all the artists? And why aren't you exploring non-Korean artists that do or invent those genres if it's not about them being Korean and it's about the music? The reason things are different from what you, K-pop fans, remember is that BTS are mainstream, so they have music fans and not niche fans. And music fans don't treat music artists like group projects because they are fans of individual music. In conclusion, if you like music, listen to BTS. Chances are you're going to love them. And I think I repeat this in all of my videos, but don't assume. Don't assume BTS is just K-pop. Don't assume their biggest and only talent is dancing. And don't assume they only release meaningless pop music. BTS's fandom is composed of listeners of different genres of music because they release different genres of music. There's BTS music for everyone. You just need to be a little open-minded and explore the world of BTS's discography and artistry.
All right, safe travels for that boy. That's Jin right there. Safe travels, you out there doing that military thing. I would say, yeah, I really don't like that reporter and her take. I don't not like her personally, but just more so that take and the take she has is just a continuation of just bad actors in the industry where they just don't want to do the work. And then they either want to put it on the fans or the artist. And I'm like, these are the lifeblood, meaning if there's no more artists, Shorty has no more articles, period. And then if these artists don't have fans, she still doesn't have any articles, period. Because everybody needs everybody. And the only person not doing their job, if I as the artist make good music, put out good videos, have a fan base, then your job is to report on it and make it worth reading. It's very simple. Like, do your job. And then stop complaining about the job you picked being hard, because guess what? It's only hard when you don't want to do the work and you want it to be easy. It's terrible. It's terrible. But I would say, for the most part, I completely agree with every reason why I would particularly say currently I do enjoy what I hear from BTS, because it is just music and not more so just kind of like a spectacle. But I do have to look more into K-pop because I don't know enough yet. So I can't really say whether or not I don't particularly like K-pop yet, because I've not really listened to any. And then any of the Korean-based music I was listening to before was just like Korean rappers or like singers like BB. And I want to say, what's her name? Lee? I don't know if it's Lee High or Lee Hee, how you say her name properly, but like singers like that. So I'm listening to music at all times. It doesn't matter that like they come from Korea. Man, them could be from China, could be from Quebec. It don't matter. Like, it really doesn't. It's a good music, then I'm there. That said, though, that's going to be it for me on this one. Shout out to Bora for making these videos, and I just get to kind of just chat my shit on top of them. So thank you very much for all the hard work you do. Shout out to the Army and anybody that watches these. I do appreciate you all. If you could, please hit that like, subscribe, Patreon, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.